We're back. Oh, we lost all the questions.
We're back. We lost all the questions, but we are back. So, I guess we're actually getting close to the 7:54. So we do have 6 more minutes left. Let's see if we can find any of the questions. Well, I don't know how that happened. It came up that it looked like it was shutting down, and sure enough, it did. So,
well, 37 flawless episodes. We were due for something like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, what the heck?
My first one was a mess.
Yeah, but you guys rebounded really good and did an awesome job.
That was a fun deal.
I mean, after you got through the glitches, it was good. Okay, now I know where I was at as far as questions. So if you keep rolling that gear, I'll tell you when to stop. Because I was
Dana, wasn't it? We were on Dana.
Dana.
I just don't know if it's in order.
Oh, doesn't look like it. Can those guys re-ask their questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Those of you whose questions we missed, if you can, could you re-ask those questions? We'll go over a little bit tonight so we can answer those questions for you. I apologize for this, and I have no clue what actually happened. Everything was going along pretty good, and the thing on my screen come up with the 5 stars and wanting to know how great it was going, and I just go along for the ride and talk to all these people. And the thing is, we talked about how you've been so busy and we've been busy, and Pat says how busy he is, and I can't stress enough, guys, how much we do really appreciate your business, and that's the thing, that doing this show is a way to give you back a minimal amount for what you guys do for us, and if it wasn't for you guys, the customers, there'd be no reason to do this show. So
we don't exist without them.
Here we go. So now I do have questions up on my one side, but of course I can't see them. Okay. Well, Denny, we appreciate that. We definitely enjoy it. Seriously, a ton of great information every week. Ryan, I appreciate it. You guys, we look forward to this, and we're just hoping that we can help you guys. It's been great. A very elementary question, but how can I get my car back over on my right front? I feel like the car is on the right rear so hard that the car is absolutely wanting to wheelie up and had the front of the car almost up in the air. Also, if you can, please touch on the chain upping in the left front. Okay. Well, Samuel, one of the things what happens is a lot of times people get too soft on the right rear. The other thing that, like I said, when I see customers that the car's really falling on the right rear a lot, that's a good indication that the rear end is too far to the left. That's one thing. What I always tell people, I always align my left side tires, and then the right front should be in about 1.5 inches from the right rear. And if the car is really doing that, put like a 1/2 inch spacer on the right rear and see if that helps the car. That's going to tell you the location of the rear end. Because you're right, when the car gets so far on the right rear, then all it does is the right rear doesn't allow the car to do what it wants to do, and it's all the weight's over there. And then of course the tire that's going to get the lightest is the opposite, or the opposite, which is the left front's going to be light. Chain, putting a chain on the left front, what that basically does is limits some of the movement. We found good results with that. Keeping the car off the right rear, that seems to help. You're still going to probably lift the car or lift the chain. Even if you had it chained up, you're still going to lift it. If you do put a chain on there, I always start with 1.5 inches drop. So in other words, I measure, like if my shock absorber is say 17.5 inches, I will jack my car up until my shock says 19 inches, and then that's where I'll put my chain. Because then you can go a half an inch one way or the other and really make and tune the car. Wonderful show. Not sure how I missed the other 37 issues. Well, I'll tell you what, they are all online, so this will just give you something to do wherever you're traveling. You can listen to all those shows. Bob, did you keep records of every how car you sold from Superior in the early 80s? Well, Steve, to be honest with you, I think a lot of those records actually went when I sold the business in 2000. A lot of that record keeping stuff with the cars went with them. So in answer, I really couldn't tell you. We sold quite a few How cars. I mean, we did really good. How built a very good race car, and we had great luck with all their products. Jeff, on an open modified motor, do we need to run more rear percentage? Well, in reality, Jeff, you probably should. The thing of it is you've got to be a little bit careful. If you get too much rear percentage, you're still putting X amount of load to the tire. And what happens is you can load the tire, but once you break the tire loose, it takes a longer time for that tire to catch itself back up. And so it might help you if you're really good on the throttle. It definitely will help you getting off the corner. You got to be a little careful getting in, but it'll definitely help you there. If you're entering the corner and the frame is bottoming out on the lower control arm on the right front, what should be an adjustment? Well, I'd make more clearance on my right front lower A-frame would be my first adjustment. I'm not saying that's exactly the best way to handle it. Biggest thing is you're just going to have to look at a little stiffer shock, a little bit stiffer spring probably, because it's just getting over there too much. Move some weight to the left side, increase your left side percentage a little bit. Those things would be good. All right, we've got time for 2 more questions. We'll do Dana's question and Ryan's question. My question is, we have a drop cup on our right front. If not able to keep wedge in the car, what's the best, more preload in the left rear or more spring in the right front? You know, it could Dana, it could very well be a combination of both. More spring load in the left rear is going to get the car on the right front harder. That's just kind of how that deal works. So you might end up having to do both of them. A little bit more preload in the right front if you can preload it against the shock. You know, instead of having 2 turns of load, put a couple more turns in that spring. It seems to me anytime we've went more than 4 turns of preload in a spring on the right front, that pretty much tells us we have to go a little stiffer on that corner. But if you're running IMCA, you can't preload against the shock anymore. But it could very well easily be both of them. On the subject of lining up the left side tires, are we using a string line from the chassis? Does Chad make a laser alignment system? Well, I'm quite sure he probably could make a laser alignment system. I do it the old-fashioned way with taping this piece of string to the back side of the left rear tire and lining up the left front and then seeing which tire tests or how it aligns compared to the left front. And I always run my left side tires in line on a dirt car. A pavement car is just the opposite. We always ran the right side tires in line. Shannon, we appreciate it, you guys, for this time. We look forward to it. And hey, I'll tell you what, guys, once again, thanks for chiming on here. Thank you again for the nice comments today, Todd. We really appreciate that. And we've had a great night. I hope you guys have had a great night. What do you got to say, Chad?
Yeah, thank you. Just to answer his question, we do not make a laser alignment thing. Lasers are a little bit inaccurate. Like, that's be a 6-foot distance. So they're not quite accurate enough for that. The string's going to be way more accurate. But
Awesome.
yeah, thanks everybody.
All right. Well, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Awesome.